Well, listen, I've heard everything you're telling me. I mean, this is kind of cool. I'm not saying this is not a good opportunity, but what I want to share with you is that if you are able to get a FedEx ground route, you are making way more money than that, okay? Because right now you're making peanuts, in my view. In today's conversation, I want to talk to you about an opportunity to actually make up to $450,000 a year, boss. $450,000 a year. So we are talking about FedEx Ground Delivery Business, how to get a FedEx ground route and make money delivering for FedEx. So this is the topic I want you to stick around, and you will love it. I guarantee it.
One in a million, one in a million, one in a million. You know they're coming up to me, cause I'm just the kind of flower that's stinging from the beat, but the rhythm's getting higher. Go, 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 go. One in a million, one in a million, one in a million, one in a million, one in a million.
Welcome back, folks, to another edition of the Awesome Sweaty Kiwi Show. How are you today? I hope you are doing fantastic. I'm doing marvelous, if you were to ask me. If you are doing as great as I am, go grab a cup of coffee, or tea, or vodka, and let's roll. In today's conversation, I have a great opportunity for you, okay? We are going to talk about FedEx Ground Delivery Business, how to get a FedEx ground route and make money delivering for FedEx, and the opportunity will pay you up to $450,000 a year. We have clients right now who are making that much every single year delivering for FedEx, okay? So the first thing I want you to do, boss, I want you to do this for me. You want to get a van, okay? So that's the first thing I want you to think about. Get a van. So you need to decide which step van is best for your route. So when we talk about FedEx, we're not speaking about cargo vans or necessarily. We are speaking about a step van. So it's important to have a clear idea of what kind of step van you need, okay? If you own or you are trying to own a FedEx route business, okay, you may be familiar with step vans already, okay? Step vans, sometimes called step vans, or let's say box trucks, okay? They get their name from their low van steps installed beneath the doors that allow drivers to easily step up and get in the cab, okay? They look more like a truck than a van, but some newer models have a sleek van-like design, okay? It's really important. And step vans are really appealing for FedEx ground businesses because they're spacious. This is important. They're flexible, okay? And you can just get the job done really fast, okay? Remember that FedEx delivery drivers have relied on step vans for decades, boss. Okay, their convenient design allows drivers to exit and enter the vehicle with relative ease, saving time and allowing for more deliveries throughout the day. So what I'm trying to tell you, boss, is that you need to have a clear idea of the van that you need, okay? And the cool thing is that you have to think. If you currently have a van, or if you can lease a van, that's fine. But if you don't, you have to think about the financing part, okay? It's important. So everything starts, if you're trying to get a FedEx ground route, everything starts with getting the van. And when we're not talking about any type of van, we are speaking about a step van. Very important. And the one thing you need to think about, you also need to think about gas or diesel step vans, okay? And everything will depend on how long your daily route will be. Are you doing OTR? Are you doing urban? Are you doing suburban deliveries for FedEx? It's totally up to you. And what is your budget? Okay, so when we talk about gas or diesel step vans, your budget is important, okay? You have to invest in quality, boss. It's important. Do not be cheap ass here. We don't want to. If you choose a step van, I want you to go for quality. Why? Because the money is there. The business, the potential for profit is there. With the FedEx ground route, as I told you, we have clients right now who are making up to $450,000 a year. I'm speaking about a single owner operator, not people who have not fleet owners, okay? So the opportunity is there. So the first step is to get a van. The second step is you need to lease or buy. So as I said before, if you don't own a step van or similar vehicle, think about where you can buy or lease it way before you contact FedEx to discuss the ground route opportunities. Very important. So when we talk about leasing versus owning, you have to decide what really works for you. Why? Let me just break it down for you. When you lease, let's say when you lease the step van, you have no capital outlay. All maintenance is included, right? You have a substitute vehicles that are included. So something happens, the step van breaks down, you can actually go to the lessor and ask for a replacement. Okay, licensing, safety, compliance is included. Okay, and the step van, the cargo van, the truck is replaced and disposed. Okay, if you own, in ownership, down payment and capital tied up, because some step van loans, they want you to have a 20% down payment. Okay, you have unpredictable maintenance cost. You can pay for rental. You have to pay for rentals, and you have a time and expense for compliance, which is important, and you are responsible for disposal. Okay, so we believe that no matter what you want to go for lease or own, is totally up to you. But I want to share with you the top lenders and lessors that we have researched and that we love on this show. So you have Ryder. Okay, Ryder is a big player. Okay, really big player, and we love the fact that they can work with you in terms of leasing their step van to you, or actually helping you finance it. Totally possible. Okay, and we love the fact that they are really flexible. You also have First Source Bank. Okay, with First Source, you can actually lease or buy step vans, not a problem. Okay, and the cool thing here is that they will work with you. They have agents in place to help you out. One thing I want to say here is that whether you decide to go with Ryder or First Source, please make sure that you know exactly, you have a clear idea about the step van you need. Just make sure that you have taken care of all the legal part of things. You know, in other words, you want to be a legit business. You want to have the EIN. You want to have your LLC or your S corp or your C corp. You want to have your certificate of good standing. Make sure you have a registered agent. Okay, and those are little things, and those are you might be thinking those are little things. Yes, they are little things, but once you go to Ryder or First Source Bank to ask for financing, they'll be asking for this sort of minimal, quote unquote, minimal paperwork. It's important. Okay. Another player I want to acquaint you with is Chrisman Capital. So Chrisman Capital, so they also do leasing or financing for the step van that you need for your FedEx Ground business. Okay, and this is kind of cool. And what we love with Chrisman Capital is that they actually offer no down payment. Okay, with the option to purchase the equipment at the end of the lease. This is really good. They have competitive fixed pricing and terms to fit your needs. They have tax-free loan payments. Okay, and you have customized leases and loans from $10,000 to $2 million. So this, when it comes to leasing or financing a step van, a FedEx Ground step van, this is a great player. Chrisman is a great player. We love him. Okay, and APRs actually are decent. They start at 3.25% with terms ranging from 24 to 72 months. Think about that. So the flexibility is there, boss. The flexibility is there. And so, for instance, if you choose 72 months, the fact that the payment is so extended over a long period of time actually makes the monthly payments pretty low, which is something you want anyway, right? When you start with FedEx, even though the money is there, you need to actually manage your first 3 months, because you need to, you still need to let FedEx know about you, make sure that your route is profitable, is competitive also, and so that's what it is. And what we love with Chrisman is that they could actually approve your loan, your step van loan, within 2 to 4 days. Okay, and that's if you don't have the paperwork. But if you have all the paperwork, they can actually approve you within 2 to 4 hours. How about that? Really good, right? Really good. And I want to say the funding actually occurs within 1 or 2 business days. Okay, and I want to share with you another player. This is a merchant fleet. Okay, so with merchant fleets, you can receive your vehicles in 3 days. Okay, and we love the fact that they are nationwide. I mean, all of them are nationwide. Okay, and so they have nationwide pickup and delivery. This is really good, and they have a special program for step vans. This is what we love also. And the fact of the matter is, they will work with you. We love lenders in general who work with borrowers, with applicants. They'll work with you. They'll just guide you. They'll look at the kind of van that you're looking for. Okay, they have also a large inventory of vehicles. Okay, and they have flexible rental terms. They have 24/7 roadside assistance. This is really good. They have high mileage allowances, which is really important if you are trying to get a FedEx Ground business, up and running. You want to have high mileage allowances. Okay, what we have seen in our industry, we have seen dealing with our clients here is that high mileage allowances allow them to make more money. That's the bottom line, okay? That's the bottom line. So this is what you want. So boss, I'm still talking to you about how to get a route for FedEx Ground, okay? We want to be clear about the topic. And the one thing I want to say here is that, number one, I told you to get a van. You need to get a step van. Number two, if you don't have a step van, or you're not in a position to buy, if you're not in a position to own it, just lease it or buy it, okay? But you want to finance the whole thing. The third thing is you need to understand what we're talking about. What is FedEx Ground shipping? I want you to really be clear about this concept, because a lot of folks talk about FedEx Ground. Yes, the money's there. You can earn up to $450,000. Some people are making $500,000. Okay, that's really good. But what are we talking about here? What is it really? So FedEx Ground, I want you to picture this. FedEx Ground is a low-cost shipping service that delivers to businesses and is faster to move. Is faster to more locations than UPS Ground, and that is true. We have tested it. That is true. So if you need to ship to a residential address, use FedEx Home Delivery, which delivers every day of the week, okay? But to businesses, that's what FedEx Ground is about. So when we talk about FedEx Ground, we are talking about shipping and transit time that is between 1 to 5 business days. It's important for you to know that, because if you are going to own a FedEx Ground business, you need to be aware of those stats, okay? There are some weight limits and maximum package sizes. So packages up to 150 pounds, okay? 108 feet in length, and 165 feet in length plus girth, okay, can be shipped. And delivery area. So FedEx Ground delivers throughout all 50 states to all U.S. businesses addresses, okay, all U.S. business addresses, okay. And just keep in mind that FedEx International Ground ships between the U.S., Canada, and within Canada. And we don't cover that here into this conversation. We are covering only FedEx Ground, okay. And so when you think about this opportunity, I want you to think about a combo that wins. A combination that wins. This is how we analyze FedEx Ground. And this is how we advise our clients when they make decisions about FedEx Ground, how to make more money, how to choose the best route, how to actually whether they should upgrade their step van and whatnot. Okay, so there's a lot of stuff that goes into the analysis. So, but for us, here you have a combo that wins. So you have FedEx Ground and FedEx Freight. Okay, in other words, you can start with FedEx Ground, but also do FedEx Freight. Yeah, it's all about making more money. If you want to expand the constellation of revenue sources, nobody should stop you for that, okay? And so the bottom line here is that you can go for FedEx Ground. I've already said all that, but FedEx Freight is also good because you have delivery in 1 to 6 business days to the U.S., Canada, and Mexico. This is really great, fantastic, and we love that, okay? And this is really good. And one thing I want to say here is that overall, this is a great opportunity, really, really great opportunity. So the fourth thing I want you to do, boss, this is really important. The fourth thing I want you to do here is that you want to join, okay? So there are 3 main ways to make money with FedEx Ground as a carrier, okay? And I want you to really pay attention here because those 3 ways are not, they're not mutually exclusive, but they are distinct. So you have to be very careful about which one you want to choose, okay? So if you are an independent contractor who is interested in working with FedEx, you have a few options at your fingertips. And FedEx is very adamant in making sure that potential carriers they comply with the rules, okay? So you have something called custom critical owner operator. That's the first option here, okay? So custom critical owner operators make up FedEx entire custom critical fleet. So if you own or plan to own your own vehicle, you might qualify for a FedEx owner operator position, okay? Some eligibility requirements vary depending on whether you own a cargo van, small street truck, large street truck, or tractor trailer, okay? So this is important, but there are some must-have qualifications. You have 3 or fewer moving violations in the last 3 years, okay? A maximum of 1 moving violation in the last year, passing a physical and drug test from the U.S. DOT, Department of Transportation, a proper class commercial driver's license, okay? No record of a preventable accident resulting in death, serious injury, or payout greater than $100,000, no record, citation, or conviction of using a handheld mobile phone while driving in the last year, no felonies whose clearance, completion of parole, probation, incarceration, or a court-ordered diversion program occur within the last 7 years. 7 years, boss. no DUIs and no DWIs within the last 5 years, and no misdemeanors in the last 3 years. So they're very strict there. So that's the first option to join. Second option, you can be a ground independent FedEx contractor. Okay, a ground independent FedEx contractor. So the whole thing here is that you are able to work with them through their FedEx Ground. You need to have at least 1 year of commercial driving experience within the last 3 years. You must have no record of positive alcohol or drug test. You must have a current commercial driver's license, okay? And you must be able to cross the border into Canada if needed. And then you have the home delivery independent contractor. So this is exactly what it sounds like. So you are responsible for picking up packages and for their delivery to homes. And I think, boss, this might be the opportunity for you because, because if you don't want to drive from one country to another, or you don't want to be part of, the custom critical owner operator program, this one is good for you. So it's called the home delivery independent contractor. Okay. So here they want you to have at least 1 year of commercial driving experience within the last 3 years. Have no record of positive alcohol or drug test. You must have a current commercial driver's license, okay? And you must be able to cross the border into Canada if needed. Boss, this fifth step here. So just want to quickly recap. So first step, you need to get a van. Number 2, lease or buy. Number 3, understand. Number 4, join. Number 5, we are talking about applying. So how do you apply to become a contractor with FedEx, especially for FedEx Ground? It's important to remember that. So basically, they have a series of documents they need from you. Okay, but the first thing is it's better to contact FedEx right away to have a clear idea, because sometimes they change their rules, and a rule that is applicable yesterday, today is no longer applicable. I mean, we've seen this during COVID lockdown, because at that point they had to relax their rules because they needed a lot of carriers. So they had to relax their rules to allow more people to enter the workforce. That's what they did. And so nowadays, it's just better to always contact FedEx to have a clear idea about their updated requirements. Okay, but at a minimum, they'll ask you for your social security number, your home address for the last 3 years, your current driver's license number, because they will check that to make sure that you don't have any sort of issues on that license. Okay, and they will ask you to provide a driver's license history for the last 3 years. This is really important. They will ask you for employment history for up to 10 years. Okay, they will ask you to have a history of traffic accidents, violations, and convictions for the last 3 years. Okay, they will ask you to provide bits of your criminal history if applicable, and bits of your military history if applicable. One thing I want to say in general here is that make sure also that you are actually you have a business. Honestly, you can haul for FedEx Ground as an owner operator, as a solo driver, in other words, as a sole proprietorship. But it's better. The advantages are way better if you incorporate. I mean, we have seen this time and again, and this has been 15 years we have been advising clients in the transportation industry, and having a legit business is always better. Okay, always better. And we're also talking about the ability to write off stuff, to write off expenses come the tax year, come the tax filing period. Okay, you're able to actually pay yourself. Yeah, not a problem. I mean, simply because you have a business doesn't mean that you don't have to pay yourself. No, you still need money to take care of business, to actually put food on the table of your family, to put a roof on to do a lot of things. So you can pay yourself as a business. Okay, not a problem. So I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another session of the Awesome Sweetie Kiwi Show. I'm still having a conversation with you about how to get a route for FedEx Ground and make up to $450,000 a year, okay? And the sixth step I want you to pay attention to is you got to be ready, boss. You got to be ready to send several packages to the same place. Yeah, because people think, you've done all the prep work. You have all the paperwork. You have everything ready. You have everything ready. You have all the documents. You have everything ready. You have all the paperwork. You have all the documents. You have all the paperwork. You have all the documents. You have all the paperwork. You have all the documents. You have all the paperwork. You have all the documents. You have all the paperwork. You have all the documents. You have all the paperwork. You have all the documents. You have all the paperwork. You have all the documents. You have all the paperwork. You have all the documents. You have all the paperwork. You have all the documents. You have all the paperwork. You have all the documents. You have all the paperwork. You have all the documents. You have all the paperwork. You have all the documents. You have all the paperwork. You have all the documents. You have all the paperwork. You have all the documents. You have all the paperwork. You have all the documents. You have all the paperwork. You have all the documents. You have all the paperwork. You have all the documents. You have all the paperwork. You have all the documents. You have all the paperwork. You have all the doc gotten the van, you have leased or bought it, right? You have understood the processes, how it works. You have joined, you have applied. Okay, everything is fine. You got approved. Okay, you got to be ready. You got to be ready because this ain't no easy task. Okay, because if you're shipping multiple packages, let's say the client is shipping multiple packages from the same origin to the same destination, and they want you, the FedEx Ground contractor, to actually take care of business. You better be ready to be around the same location, which is good for you anyway, because when we talk about fuel efficiency, when we talk about flexibility in the work, it's better to cover a small geography than cover an entire state, right? Or cover 3 or 4 states, like if you don't want to cover the tri-state area. For instance, if you are in the New York, Connecticut, you want in New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut, if you're on the eastern coast. So my point is, make sure that you are ready to send several packages. We're talking about, remember, for the package sizes, minimum total shipment weight 2,000 pounds, the minimum weight per package 15 to 25 pounds on average, the minimum weight per package 150 pounds. Sorry, that's the maximum weight per package, 150 pounds, and the maximum dimensions per package, we have 108 feet long, 165 feet length plus girth. Okay, so it's really important that you as a carrier for FedEx Ground understand those package sizes, so that you have to say, listen, am I in a good physical condition to actually haul all this? Okay, and make sure that you are able to also understand that with FedEx Ground you have opportunities to actually enter a very national, very resilient supply chain. Okay, they have business opportunities all the time for you, boss, all the time. Okay, so you have the opportunity to increase your savings. In other words, because their profit margins are very good, increase your business savings. You're able to actually increase also your visibility in the long run as a carrier for FedEx Ground, because if you work with a stellar company like FedEx, this actually carries weight on your resume if you think about it. So the last thing I want you to do, boss, is to get ready to be paid. Okay, very ready to be paid. And FedEx actually pays their carriers, their ground carriers or other carriers, weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly. It really depends on the payroll setup you have with them. Okay, but it's really cool. And one thing I want to say here is that the FedEx is always trying to have the most cost-effective ground shipping options for their clients. But they pay very well. They pay their carriers very well, because they know without their carriers, they're nothing really. Okay, and so we love that. And you have to understand that now, in terms of the fee you charge to FedEx will depend on different things. Okay, will depend on. You have to understand, first of all, FedEx Ground has 7 zones for U.S. shipping. Okay, zones are laid out like a rough bullseye around your origin address. If you are, let's say, a driver or a carrier or a customer, they have this sort of a configuration that's really important. So you have to make sure that you charge based on the distance, you charge based on the package, you charge based on the regulatory, standards around that package. For instance, if you're shipping, let's say, something cold, a cold commodity like frozen goods, for instance, or hazmat goods, okay, the requirements are not the same. Okay, so I'm talking to you as a carrier, as a potential carrier for FedEx Ground. Make sure that you are pricing your services competitively. Okay, and you have to know the factors that FedEx takes into account when charging the clients, so that you can actually adjust your rates, your service rates, appropriately. One thing I also want to say here is that please pay attention to. I spoke about that earlier, but I always want to pay. I want to say it. Remember that the destination can be either the U.S. or Canada. Yeah, because you are doing suburban delivery or urban delivery doesn't mean that once in a while FedEx will not ask you to do OTR and OTR all the way to Canada. So be aware of that. Okay, so you want to, and it's also important to understand that. Again, I want to emphasize the fact that you want to make sure you understand the package size, weight, and density criteria that FedEx actually pays attention to, and you have to be physically fit to lift those packages if needed. Okay, we are talking about maximum weight of 150 pounds. So it is something. Think about. Thank you so much for your attention, boss. I really appreciate it. In today's conversation, I was just talking to you about how to actually. So I was talking to you about FedEx Ground Delivery Business, how to get a FedEx Ground route and make money delivering for FedEx, and you can earn up to $450,000 a year. So number one, get a van. Number two, lease or buy. So we have 4 players that can help you: Ryder, First Source Bank, Chrisman Capital, Merchant Fleets. Number 3, you want to understand the whole concept of FedEx Ground. Number 4, you want to join. Number 5, you want to apply. Number 6, you want to be ready. And number 7, you want to get paid. Thank you so much for your attention, boss. I really appreciate it. God bless you. I will see you next time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.